It's your child's first big trip out of the country as a young adult. They're 18 years old, they're off to college, and they're experiencing their first spring break. For whatever reason, they don't have access to their bank account, so they ask you to pay their rent or go to the bank to get money out for them on their behalf so they can keep paying their bills while they're out of the country enjoying themselves. What happens when the bank tells you that you don't have access to the accounts because you're not a joint owner on the account and the child is now 18 years old? Another scenario is going to the doctor's office, trying to pick up health immunization records for your child, doing something on behalf of your child that you would have been able to do had they been a minor, but they've now crossed that threshold to now being 18 years old. Things change now. And so what does that mean estate planning wise, and also what does that mean legal wise? Hi everyone, my name's Leah Boston. I'm an estate planning attorney here in the state of Maryland and owner of law office of Leah Boston LLC. I draft wills, trusts, I do long-term life care planning, and I assist parents with young adults who are now 18 years old with the legal realities that happen when your child becomes an 18-year-old operating in this world. One of the big realities that we don't think about is that when your child turns 18 legally in the eyes of the law, they are an adult. They are a functioning, growing adult that is able to operate, make decisions for themselves, and are able to contract by themselves, negotiate, etc. Although this may not be the case for every 18-year-old, I know it definitely was not the case for mine. These are very real realities that parents sometimes forget just because they're used to doing these things for their children. You have to remember, when children turn 18, that threshold now becomes different, and parents are kind of, I don't want to say locked out, but there is a different relationship that the law is going to have with your child versus what you're going to have with your child. So what does this mean? When your child goes off to school, their bank accounts become theirs, unless of course, they're shared joint bank accounts, and their decisions become theirs. Their medical records, their private, legal documents become theirs, and they're able to now make those decisions for themselves. And sometimes that can be really scary. And some children don't necessarily want to even make these decisions, or they want to make these decisions with their parents. And how is the law supposed to know that? Well, there's a way that you can do that by the great way of estate planning. What does it mean when we say estate planning and young adult planning? Well, this is quite simple. Before your child goes off to school, I highly recommend, and if you're in the state of Maryland, please call my office, that you send your child off with at minimum 3 documents. These 3 documents are going to allow you as the parent, and of course if the child consents, because the child has to be willing to make this decision, of course, that you're still involved in your child's life and you can help them make these decisions, or you have access to these different things. So the 3 documents that I will stress to each parent to have for your child prior to them going off to school, because they are now legally an 18-year-old that can make decisions for themselves, are 1, a financial durable power of attorney. This is a very important document. The bank accounts and you trying to go and get money for your child and walking into a bank and thinking just because you're the mom, you're the parent, etc., that the banks are just going to automatically open those accounts to you, you're sadly mistaken. So what does that financial power of attorney look like? This document is going to allow parents or the designated agent to manage those assets on behalf of their children if they are unable to pay bills for them, file taxes for them, like essentially manage their assets. Life keeps going for them if they are unable to do it. The scenario that I gave is your child is off in another country for whatever reason. They forgot to put their money aside for their rent, but they need you to go into their account. That financial power of attorney, that designation is going to allow that parent to go into that account, present it to the bank or present it to the necessary parties to show them, I have access to all of this stuff, I can do this. It doesn't necessarily have to be some, horrific thing happening, but something as simple as your child being stuck overseas because they're on a trip or they're studying abroad and for whatever reason they don't have access. That financial power of attorney is going to grant you that access. So it's really important, because life is going to keep going, that you as the parent are still able to step in and do works for your children on their behalf. Another important document is going to be a HIPAA authorization waiver. This is very, very important, especially if something happens to your child and you can't get to them immediately, but you just need to call the hospital just to get information about what's going on. A scenario as simple as your child gets into an accident, God forbid, of course, but you don't have a way to get to them immediately. You call the hospital. You want a status update. You want some information. Your child's 18 years old now. Usually, in most cases, just because of HIPAA laws, patient privacy issues, a doctor or a nurse or any healthcare staff, probably there's a really big chance that they're not going to let you know what this information is just for privacy protection. Although your child may be wanting you to know that information, if they're unable to communicate that clearly to the doctors that you want them involved in whatever is going on with them, to be updated, in a timely manner, what is happening to them. If this is not in writing, those HIPAA laws are going to come into effect, and it will not be good for the parent at all whatsoever. Sitting and wondering what's going on with your child, and you just want a simple update as to what their status is. But because doctors and nurses, healthcare staff are bound by these HIPAA laws and private patient care type of laws, you definitely want to make sure that you have something like this in place as well. Additionally, with the HIPAA authorization, you also want to make sure that you have set in place for your child an advanced medical directive. That's what we call them here in the state of Maryland, also known as like a healthcare power of attorney. Same way that you're able to manage your child's assets with a financial power of attorney, an advanced medical directive, or also known as a healthcare power of attorney, is going to allow you as the parent to manage your child's health, make those decisions for your child, or if your child's already made those decisions, you can also ensure that those decisions are executed. These are very, very important documents and scenarios that we don't necessarily think about, because as parents we feel, or as parents you feel, that you are entitled to your children's assets. You feel that you are entitled to the information about your child. But these are the legal realities that parents face once your child turns 18. Definitely before your child goes off to school and prior to orientation week and all of those exciting things happening, you definitely want to send your child off with a HIPAA authorization, so you have access to, knowing the status of whatever is going on with your child in the hospital, managing their financial assets if they need you to with that financial power of attorney, and then also speaking on their behalf, making decisions for them healthcare wise with that healthcare power of attorney. So if you're in the state of Maryland, my office actually for the entire month of August 2024, I'm running a sale for $515 for parents to come in and bring their children and get these documents put in place for their children. If you have any questions or you want to inquire more about what this sale is, the details that go into it and how it works, contact my office at www.leahbostonlaw.com, and I'm happy to help get you and your family started. Happy orientation week. Congratulations to all of those students going off to school, but also congratulations to all of those children that are stepping into the other side of being an adult as an 18-year-old. Have a wonderful rest of your day.